Hey, welcome to the first episode of Chaco TCG. So, this first episode, we'll talk about the base set Pokemon cards and the multiple versions of it out there, and how the times where those art are basically reused. Okay, so with the recent hype increase in Pokemon cards, Pokemon especially, the Pokemon cards actually, the values actually kind of increased quite a bit over the last year. Um, in a way, when people are at home due to COVID-19, people actually kind of spend more times and the increase in this hobby. So when we talk about Pokemon, definitely the one that came out in 1999, the very first Pokemon card series that was actually printed, actually comes to mind to a lot of people, especially those in the 30s now. So when it first came out, the first set of Pokemon cards that actually came out is called Pokemon Base Sets. So just a little extra knowledge, when people talk about base sets, they actually meant like they most of the time they actually meant the first sets of Pokemon cards that was ever printed, but in other ways, it can actually mean other things. So just a few example, the most recent series is called Sword and Shield. So people mention Sword and Shield base set, it actually means the first set that actually come out in that was actually printed in the Sword and Shield era. So usually the first set is just Sword and Shield. You do not see any like extra names behind. But let's say, for example, the second set that was printed in Sword and Shield era is called Sword and Shield Rebel Clash. The third one is called Sword and Shield uh, Darkness Ablaze. Yes. So if they say Sword and Shield base set, it meant the base set that come out. If they say, let's say, Sun and Moon base set, it's actually meant the first set that was actually printed in Sun and Moon. So back from the tangent, when we talk about Pokemon base set, yes, Pikachu can be considered the mascot of Pokemon, but you talk about collectors, all this, okay, the holy grail definitely is Charizard. So I have a base set Charizard here. Okay, so they call it in a way the unlimited series, in some sense, if you search online. Okay, so this is actually the first art of Charizard that was ever printed. Yes, okay, and you might don't think that all this base set, right? Okay, I have actually a few other cards of base set here. Okay, there's a Charmeleon, there's a Charmander. Okay, so yeah, the baby, the mother. Okay, no, the evolution line here. Okay, so definitely there are other cards in base set, but yes, Charizard is actually the most expensive card inside. So you might think that this actually is like the first ever printed Charizard in Pokemon card series. So yes, in a way, it's the first art that was actually printed, and this art is actually reused quite a few times. So, but this is actually the third printed version of this Charizard. Yep. So before this, there are actually two others printed versions. So this is actually called the like the base set Charizard, right? You look at all these base set Pokemon cards, right? Actually, on the right side of the Pokemon portrait, you'll see a shadow here. Same for this Charmeleon, a shadow just under the portrait, right? On the right side, right? So the second printed Charizard, right, or the second printed base set, right, it's actually called the Shadowless. So all these shadow is actually non-existent in those sets. So this as I said, this is the third one that was actually printed out. If you have the Shadowless, it's actually worth much more money than this base set. So yep, if you have one, there's some money up there. Okay, and the first ever printed Charizard actually have a first edition logo on the bottom left side of the portrait, just outside here, like where my hand is pointing. Okay, so over here you see the first edition logo, and if you have a first edition Charizard, even if it's not in a good condition, wow, that's a lot of money over there. So if you have a mint condition card, mint condition Charizard, and there's a first edition logo, provided that it's not fake, it's a real deal, there's a lot of money there, man. Okay, so some of you might be thinking that why is this card in the case? So this is actually a graded card. Okay, somebody call it slab for shorts, for in short form. Okay, so this is graded from a company called PSA. People actually send their collectors to all these grading company to actually grade their cards. 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. So I have 9 here. Not that rich enough to get actually a 10. 10 is actually the best it can be. So this is actually kind of the second best condition, alright? So two of the more prominent grading company out there is PSA. The other one is actually BGS. Okay, so they also grade from 1 to 10. Most of the grading company actually use this number lah. So yep, you can actually search for them. Definitely, there are other grading companies out there. These are just two of the more well known, or the one that is around the most. Okay, so you might think that this is actually it for this upward of Charizard, but nope. Okay, so definitely because I think it kind of popular, not sure. Actually, Pokemon Company actually printed a few years later the base set 2. Okay, some of them call it the set that actually no one's actually looked at in a way. So these are a base set 2 card. Okay, the art is definitely is the same. So we're actually talking about the amount of times this art is actually got printed. Printed out. Okay, so for base set 2, the real difference is instead of the left side, the bottom right of the card, right, outside the portrait, you'll see a number 2 logo. So yeah, it's still worth quite a bit of money, but in good condition, but definitely worth lesser than the base set, right? So this is actually considered the fourth printed one. And yep, there's a fifth one. Okay, so for a fifth one, they actually reprint a few sets combined. Okay, so it's called a legendary collector. So I actually do not have a legendary legendary collection. I think it's legendary collection. Yeah, Charizard here. But to spot it out, okay, all the cards, right, they have a badge logo on the bottom right. So the legendary collector, if I'm not wrong, there is a Charizard that is not holo at all. Okay, so if it's not holo at all, it's probably from team deck worth the least, and there's a holo one. Okay, so if you get a holo one, actually worth quite a bit of money, but the more prominent one is actually a legendary collector. Okay, if I that is reverse holo. Okay, so if I'm not wrong, again, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, legendary collector legendary collection, yeah, it's legendary collection. I should stop saying it wrongly, sorry about that. Okay, legendary collection series is probably the first series that actually printed out cards in reverse holo, and it's probably the only series that reverse holo card look like this. So if you just look at it, showing the light, you look at all these fireworks, right, of this reverse holo card. Okay, the holo actually from outside of the portrait. So all these reverse holo card, okay, to be honest, when I first see it, right, when I was young, I bought a pack, I saw a reverse holo card, I stopped buying immediately. I thought those are fake booster pack, kind of like got scammed by this auntie that is selling me fake booster pack, but kind of regret it now. When it first came out, all these reverse holo card actually does not worth as much, I guess, worth a bit. As it goes by, as years goes by, people also do not kind of look at all these cards, right? I think the cards start to come back into prominent, the hype start to get into all these cards. I think few years back, 5-6 years, not sure about the years back, but suddenly people start thinking that all these cards are beautiful. Yeah, kind of like me now, right? When I was young, I thought that it's kind of fake, but as I grow older, all these fireworks actually looks kind of amazing. So if I am not wrong too, it's also one of the time where reverse holo card actually is more expensive than the holo card or the normal card in the series. So actually in some of the series it is true, but probably one of the first one where the reverse holo is actually more expensive. So if you get a reverse holo like this, okay, and a Charizard, do not think that it's fake. It's actually worth quite a bit of money out there. Okay, so these are all the vintage era Pokemon cards using all these Charizard, right? Just yeah, the legendary collection Charizard look exactly the same, just that the reverse holo is outside, and the holo one looks exactly the same. Okay, except for the badge. So these are all these vintage era cards that of this Charizard. So the vintage era actually printed by this company called WOTC, and Pokemon Company actually took back the rights to print all these cards to control what is printing out, maybe the quality, not sure. They actually maybe they do not like about the printing of WOTC, all these yeah. So now cards are actually printed by the Pokemon Company instead of WOTC. So yep, a few years down the road, a few years in the past, few years ago, Pokemon Company decided that all these vintage cards actually brings back a lot of nostalgia. So if I'm not wrong, is 2016. Yep, they actually kind of reprint all these arts in Pokemon base set. Yeah, because yeah, there's a lot of nostalgia power, right? So yeah, they kind of reuse it again. So you thought this is the end of the video, but once again, no. So I have here it's considered a modern reprint of the base set card. So if you just look at it, okay, just look at all these two card difference. Okay, on the right side, this is a Pokemon XY Evolutions, 2016, if I'm not wrong, the modern reprint of the Charizard. So on the left is the base set. Okay, so there's a lot of difference. So you see that the HP is higher. Okay, because modern Pokemon their damage is higher. So to cater to modern Pokemon like damage and stuff, they actually have to increase their HP. The energy is still the same. The damage actually increased to is 200 instead of 100. So weakness is times 2. If you look at it properly, it actually say discard 3 energy instead of 2. They even summarize the ability. So this is kind of the modern reprint for modern era, the Charizard for XY Evolution. So in the series XY Evolution, there are multiple Charizard. So and the more popular one definitely is these two that brings back nostalgia. So I have a holo one and a reverse holo. If you look at it properly, yep, the holo is on the outside. And yeah, this is basically the few times that the base set Charizard was reused. Hopefully this video give you guys some idea on what to look out for if you like, because at least let you know the multiple series of base set out there. So XY Evolution actually due to the increased hype recently of base set Pokemon, right? Base set Pokemon cards are bloody expensive. Yeah, it's so expensive and a lot of people can't actually afford it. So they actually go for the next best thing. So and that is the XY Evolution, which is a modern version. So the cards are all more available, but thanks to that, the booster box just increased and the booster packs and the cards price just increased like three times over the months, right? If I'm not wrong, it's about 100 plus USD. Like at the start of this year, right? The price is not that expensive compared to when it first came out multiple years ago, but now it's like 500, 600 USD. Not sure exactly how much it is now. The price is going up crazily. Okay, so if you're really looking for it, maybe you can go to some store, Walmart, Target store, not sure, some of the local store out there. Maybe I think at the start of November they actually come out with this Kanto collection box with 10 XY booster inside. So you can look into it, look at it. Definitely is slightly if you compare to 36 packs of XY Evolution when it first came out, right? The price definitely is slightly more expensive. It's definitely cheaper, provided the shop do not like sell so much above the recommended market rate. So you can look into those products out there. Hopefully those shops sell it like in the market price, not too expensive, and you can look to get those instead of those booster box that is like few hundred USD, right? So yep, so this is just some like advice. Okay, not sure if the price will go down. Hopefully, because the price just skyrocketed, right? Hopefully over time it might go down. Okay, so no promises about that lah. So and oh yeah, and recently Pokemon Company also start reprinting some sets like Hidden Fates from past year, Burning Shadow. So right, who knows, right? Because this card is XY Evolution is getting so popular, they might reprint it, but all these just speculation. If they might not, but well, there's some hope there. So yep, if you're really looking into all these cards, right? If you think that base set Evolution is too expensive, you can look for the Kanto collection box. If the people just jack the price high, too expensive, maybe you can wait for a while. Hopefully the price will die down so that you do not spend like few $100s, right? Okay, so this card, right, used to be like 50, 60 USD. Now it's like, I don't know, man, few hundred USD, right? So kind of not worth it to get into all these cards. Well, unless you're pretty rich, right? Yes, willing buyer, willing seller. This how all these how people say and how like the values of this card is valued. So well, if you think that it's worth it, yeah, it's worth it. But if you think that it's too expensive, personally, I feel that kind of not a good time to get all these card. But thank you for watching. So hopefully we can share some ideas on all these card, and like and subscribe, comment on things that need to improve on. As I said, this is my first video. Okay, so thank you.